Hi, Sue family. This is Spirit of the Angel. As I was waiting for the likes and comments to come back up, I found myself going through some old files. And there were a few that I thought to share. My thoughts that I had about how the world had changed. After all, I was gone for 16, 17 years. From my heart to yours. From my soul to yours. I wish to share my journey with you. As I awakened to the daybreak of spring's first signs of early morning dew, I found myself looking outwardly, literally scared. Nothing looked, nothing smelt, nothing felt, or even sounded the same. Things aren't supposed to look like this come the first signs of spring. I feared better, much better, just to go back to sleep. I thought. I didn't know what was real anymore. Nothing made sense. How did things manage to get like they are? The further back I looked in time for the answers, the more concerned I myself became. Was it because of what I saw happening in the past, from where I stood, only to see too late? Or was it because of where I saw myself now, and where we, my loved ones, friends, neighbors, and society as a whole were headed? The unanswered questions were many. The distractions were even greater. To keep up felt like an impossible task. Where do I begin? Everything on the outside looked so vivid, and everything on the inside looked like a blur. I couldn't keep up with all the many thoughts. Who could I run to? Everybody I once knew was changing too. Over time, I would learn I was to be the only one I could turn to. Perhaps it was just because no other realistic path appeared before me. Like a chess game, everything was coming at me from all corners. But however closed in things appeared, I was pushed to a point where I felt something deep within preventing me from feeling worthless, completely worthless, or revengeful even, or unloved. The more I was drawn to this point, the more I felt the love, the more I felt more valuable and more at peace. Something, I don't know what it was or is, but something inside was pulling me inward. But I knew not what or where it was to take me to. In the beginning, these various thoughts wore me out. I was thinking so differently than what I was accustomed to. And even though I felt strength, I felt numb, weak, and every passing day, I sank even deeper. And even though I had hope, the voice of hope became quieter and quieter. Had I hit bottom? Without that voice, I felt a void. No silence could bear to witness the silence I felt deep from within. Little did I know at the time, there was a strength brewing from inside. Something was changing. I knew not what. I was silent. One day, I read an article on binaural, like frequency type of music. I was fascinated by what I read, so much that I went and immediately Googled frequency binaural music, and I landed on a YouTube channel. And as soon as I clicked the play button on that particular video, I felt a match strike across my inner soul, and I became awakened to a strength I have never felt. And even though the spark was minimal, it felt abundant in every way, as I had become so still prior. I knew then that one day this little spark would surface to the top. I clicked on the next song, and I began to feel a release of all of my fear, confusion, and pain race, and I began to cry, unlike I had in a real long time. And yeah, my awakenings occur in spurts, just like the examples I'm giving you. Everything I had been exposed to during this confusion was flooding outward. My silence began to slowly sing a little harmony, all on its own. One I was surely not to let go of, rather embrace with all of my might, like I did that very first day we met as a child, but somehow managed to lose. But not this time. I know to lose this spark would not serve me as I once thought it would. Somehow, by the grace and desire of my higher source, I managed to find the strength before my awakening process to get up and walk through the valley of death with my head held high. No one could tell me to do this or how to do this. I had to learn how to do it on my own. I didn't know it then, but now I understand. It was my inner core, that silence, needing to come to an understanding and acquire an acceptance of what I intellectually had no answers for. I did not understand, but when my heart began to understand, the experience was more natural than giving birth. And even though the process was not induced, it probably was just as painful. I may not have understood one thing, how could I wholeheartedly, but my heart acted like it did. And if it had a pattern all of its own to follow, it was amazing. Soon afterwards, I found myself becoming warrior, having like a warrior attitude, almost angry. Everything I thought was not proficiently true, and so unlike how I remembered life to be. I wanted life to be what it was before, how I once knew it. I was mad. But you know what? I got over that too. I think it's something, maybe a process for a better choice of words, that we all need to go through. But through this silence, you will feel the greatest pleasure of strength from within, almost as if your heart already knew. And that's all I'm here to say through my awakening process. Let's not stop at the crossroads, rather sit in silence there. Feel thy own heart speak and grant it the wisdom to show you the way. Hasn't it felt like all your life there was something trying to talk with you from the depth of your heart? A voice so intent, yet so subtle, almost as if it spoke in a different language. But was it us who could not bear to understand the words we silently heard? Or was it all the distractions from outside sources determined to get in the way of those thoughts that just might set us free? Many blessings and much love.